20. 21. Yeah, let's go.
This is a what? What is this?
Bear.
Who can tell me? Who's the
Brown bear.
A brown bear. And this say what? Say it. Character in the story. All right.
You got your M? What are you looking for, Chloe? The L?
See, this M.
What's that letter? What's that letter?
I.
What's that letter?
Y.
And what does that spell?
Emily.
All right, let's look for another A.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for kindergarten.
What we're facing as a country is our kids just aren't ready as well as they should be for kindergarten. And these are our youngest citizens, so oftentimes people overlook the required investment to get everybody ready for kindergarten. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Locally, about half of JCPS kindergarten students arrive on their first day already behind. So imagine what that's like for young people to show up eager and excited only to understand that, gosh, I got to scramble to get to the starting line. That's assuming that they can kind of put that together. And what data shows us from around the country is that some kids show up 3 years behind other kids when they're at the age of 6. So imagine that mountain to overcome, and then how that can lead to perpetuating a problem when you're that far behind. The facts are a lot of kids never catch up. And it's up for us to look out for these young kids and our youngest citizens so that we can make sure that they've got every chance to be on track. Now, as you might know, I'm a business guy that just happens to be mayor, so data is important. I always ask, what's the data show us? How's it affecting our customers? Those are the two critical questions. So the great thing about the data we've collected from the Brigant's Kindergarten Readiness Screening Tool is that it points us to a solution, and you can see what works. One of the solutions is really obvious, and that is learning in the summer is one thing that makes a huge difference. Kids who attend a camp like this one were scoring 10 to 20% better than the rest of the district. So that's very promising, and it gives us a guide map for better tools and how to scale things. We're fortunate that Louisville has organizations like the CENS Foundation and Jefferson County Public Education Foundation that understands this challenge and what are the next questions to ask. Can we expand programs like we're going to learn about today? How do we scale? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Is it just money? What are the challenges? And we're also fortunate that these groups are interested in moving quickly. A lot of times around large organizations, you'll hear, well, we'll get to that next year, and then next year. And the sad reality of it is when we're dealing with kids in particular, all of a sudden they were 6 and now they're 9. 3 years have gone by. Nothing has happened. They've fallen further behind. So there has to be a sense of urgency with programs like this. So our funders said, let's start, not next year, let's start now. Let's start this summer. So a program that helped 100 kids last year is helping 300 kids this year. And Sam Corbett tells me that we're going to be at 1,000 kids in 2 more summers. And if we had more money and more resources, we could do more. So it's about making investments on the front end, investments that everybody in this room believes will pay off in a big way down the road. And that's investing, again, in our youngest citizens. This whole concept of cradle to career, lifelong learning when it starts with our youngest kids, this is an idea that's simple in concept, but it makes a huge difference on how you think about the purpose of education, and that is we're all learning every day. We know that we need lots of highly skilled individuals to create the dynamic economy that Louisville deserves. Our unemployment rate's 4.5%. Just as one example, we have an opening in the community for 1,700 technologists. Great jobs. But we don't have the skills. We got to start now. We know to accomplish that, we need to look at every step along the way. And when it's not just education, it can be prenatal care, health screening for infants, to kindergarten readiness, and then obviously graduation rates from high school, and then drill down into the data. Who needs the most help? How can we give them the help? So today's a milestone day because it represents intention, transformational, targeted investment that gives every child the opportunity to live up to their potential. And one of the mantras in my office, and we quote Frederick Douglass on this often, because he states the obvious. He says, it's easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. And that's why this program is making the investment at the beginning, so we can help build strong children, give them a great start in school now, rather than have them catch up years down the road. We've got a wonderful team working on this from throughout the community, and obviously here at JCPS as well. We're fortunate to have one of our leaders with us here today, and that's Dr. Dewey Hensley, a proud graduate of Berea College, where my wife graduated from, and he's also the Chief Academic Officer of JCPS. Dewey?
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Dr. Donna Hargens to express our gratitude for this investment in our community. We understand what readiness means. Early childhood readiness at the kindergarten level means high school graduation rates that have students ready for college. Being ready for college means you're not just attending college, you're a college completer. And when you complete college, you walk into a career ready for that. That kind of investment in our community, that our partners, everyone from the CENS and the Education Foundation to Ashley Novak at Lift a Life, to all of the organizations that to some degree or another have helped us to reform and advance forward our early childhood initiative, will have a powerful effect on this community. Thanks to the public library, thanks to others who are stepping up for our entire community to wrap around children and change the trajectory of their lives. To make it so that not only do we believe that it takes a whole community to raise a child, it takes a whole child to raise a community. And due to this kind of work by great people like our next speaker, Tess McNair, we're going to make that a reality in our community and in the lives of kids. So thank you very much. Tess.
Thank you, Dewey. And congratulations on a program that is making a really important difference in the lives of the young learners in our community. As Dewey explained and the mayor alluded to, there's something really promising happening here. The children who participate in JCPS kindergarten readiness camps start school better prepared to accelerate their learning. When we see a program that's working so well, we need to understand its broader potential, and that's where private funding can be transformative. With private funding, JCPS can study programs like this and expand them to understand which ones hold the potential to meaningfully improve our district. That's why the CENS Foundation is awarding a $250,000 grant to Jefferson County Public Schools to triple the number of students who participate in kindergarten readiness camps this summer. Our investment will help JCPS reach more kids and follow their progress through the 3rd grade, because we know that if you're on grade level by then, you're more likely to succeed in middle school, high school, college, and throughout your career. We expect to continue funding kindergarten readiness camps for the next 2 summers so that more children can begin their education on stronger footing. And we need others to get involved to expand this program and build a model for early childhood education that prepares all children in our community for success. To tell us about that, I'm pleased to introduce Sam Corbett, the Executive Director of the Public Education Foundation.
Thanks, Tess. Representing the Jefferson County Public Education Foundation, our chair, Jim Allen, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us today, but one of our board members, Henry Heiser, is with us. I want to thank everybody involved in the project. The foundation's role was really to be the kind of the connector in this arrangement to take this great support from the CENS Foundation, and I want to recognize Tess McNair's help and Tony Payton and the board of the foundation for all their support, to connect the foundation to the folks at Jefferson County Public Schools, Dr. Hargens, Dr. Hensley, Karen Branham, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us. And I need to recognize a couple people within the district who were instrumental in us being here today, and more importantly, the more than 300 kids being in 3 different sites. Jimmy Wathen, who's serving as the program director, the site directors, all of the people involved in the program, we didn't get a commitment on the funding from CENS until May 28th. The program started July 5th. And as the mayor alluded to, and as a former school board member, I can tell you, Jefferson County Public Schools is not necessarily the most nimble organization you ever met. But to the district's credit, they organized, put this together. We could not hire the staff. We could not recruit students. We could not do any of the coordination with not just the curriculum people, but also transportation, food services. There were a lot of logistics involved, and to Jimmy and his team's credit, they pulled this together, and we started this past Monday with more than 300 kids. So, congratulations. So like the mayor, I too come from a business background, spending most of my career in a family business, and my role was the sales and marketing part of our company. And so being a good salesperson, which I think I am, I need to ask for the sale. That's always important. And as Tess alluded to, we have grand plans to expand this program. And we'd like to expand this program, Mayor, not to 1,000 students in 2 years, but I'm going to be more aggressive and say 1,000 next summer. So, well, the mayor's my setup man. This is how we get this done. With the team that we have at JCPS and with community support, with organizations like CENS and Lift a Life, with some of our other partners like the Louisville Free Public Library, Kentucky Science Center, we can take this concept, raise the additional money that we need, and expand this program not from 3 to 350, but to 1,000, and we can do that as quickly as next summer. Because as I said, JCPS has already demonstrated how nimble they are at this. So I urge the community to follow what we're doing, to look at the data that we're going to have very quickly to show the success of the program, and then join our effort next year so that we can really touch that many more lives. Now, we have a special guest with us today that I'd like to introduce, have him make a few remarks, and then don't run away because we're going to move over to one of our classrooms, and we're going to see if, in fact, Mayor Fisher, Dr. Hensley, and Miss McNair are kindergarten ready themselves. So they're going to interact with some of our 4- and 5-year-old students, and we'll see how well they do and if they're prepared. But I'd like to recognize and have Representative Derek Graham come up and make a few remarks. Representative Graham is the chair of the House Education Committee, a career educator, and a huge supporter of education, of early childhood education, and of Jefferson County Public Schools. And we're really pleased that Representative Graham drove over to join us this morning. He's never been to the facility, so we're going to give him the grand tour. And again, Representative Graham, we could use some state funding probably as part of this to expand this. So welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I am a former educator, and once you are an educator, you're not really a former educator. You're always an educator because you're always looking for ways to improve. But I can say this here today in Jefferson County. I applaud the mayor, I applaud the Jefferson County Public Schools, and I applaud the business community for coming together. You know, outside of Jefferson County, we tend to forget that Jefferson County is the economic engine of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. What you do here impacts all of us in the 119 counties to a certain degree. But what you're setting the example today here in Jefferson County, the other 173 school districts across the state, or 72 I should say, you can also be a guiding force as to how this particular program develops and the data that you will collect from this program and implementing this across the state. If we can work with the local Chamber of Commerce businesses across the state to work with their local school districts to implement many of these kindergarten readiness, and I think there are some in the smaller counties across the state, but what a wonderful opportunity that you have in your school district, in your community, in the largest community in our Commonwealth of Kentucky, to show that you are investing in probably the most important part of education, in early childhood education and early childhood development. Because if we invest on the front end, as the mayor said, the other problems that we see on the back end, we won't have. And the other problems, Mayor, in terms of incarceration and all the other things depending upon the government for assistance, many of those things can be eliminated or alleviated or reduced, and people want to work for their own selves, to make a living for their families, to provide for their families, and if they have the opportunity of growing educationally and socially and economically, then they are successful, and they know they're successful, and they have that will to say, I have been successful, and I'm glad that I am providing for my family, doing what I need to do to make not only my family successful, but the community successful. So this is a great opportunity, and I applaud you, and I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this program today. Thank you all so much.
Okay, so before we move to the classroom, I do want to encourage everybody, you know, your voice makes a big difference when you talk to the members of our delegation, our local delegation, whether they're House members or Senate members, in terms of the importance of investing in early childhood. And please make sure your voice is heard in this gubernatorial campaign that's going on right now as well. You know, this is something where we could scale this very rapidly if there were decisions made in Frankfurt that said early childhood is important and we're going to make that a state priority. There are a few states in the country that are making investments in early childhood, and they've been doing it long enough now so that they're seeing the results are significant as it relates to third grade reading ability, which then correlates with so much other success further in life. So the longer we wait as a state to invest in early childhood, the less competitive we're going to be. So please make your voice heard with our state representatives and whomever our next governor will be, so that they know how important this is to our community in all of Kentucky. Okay?